Hello and welcome to my channel where I cover stocks and derivative data on a daily basis. Now in this video, I've covered for you Root Mobile. Root Mobile caters to the business of OTT and mobile network operators. It's into the cloud communication platform. Company has a very low debt with a market cap of around 9,200 crores with a return on capital employed of approx 22%. Promoters hold 58.3%. Domestic institutions are holding 6.8%. FIIs are holding a very large percentage, which is 21.34%, while the public holds a mere 13.53%. Among the non-promoter highest shareholders are Goldman Sachs funds, which is 3.8%, Sunil Singhania and Associates, 2.58%, Thelme Master Fund, 2.54%, Max Insurance Fund, 2.27%, and Pine Bridge Investments, 1.1817%. So largely FII dominating the stock over the domestic institutions for a small cap stock, which is quite amazing. Now let's have a look at the charts and decode what lies ahead. Just a quick reminder for those who wish to learn harmonic trading patterns, Ichimoku, trading psychology, risk management. My courses are available. You get video recordings extensively, right from scratch to the intermediate to advanced, with innumerable examples for each and every scenario. And how do we initiate a trade? How do we trail a trade? How do we set up targets, etc.? Videos are compiled to for harmonic patterns around 8 to 9 hours, for Ichimoku around 12 hours. For those who take up the trading psychology session, they get 10 sessions of with me, 1:1, 1 hour each, where I show on a daily basis how to reduce your risk in a trade, how to complement various studies, how to identify strength and weakness in a sector or in a stock within the sector, and overall how to control your discipline and emotions when as a trader and as an investor. So those interested, you can shout out an email to me or check out or give me a message on my Twitter handle, and I will come back to you if you have any doubts or anything. For those that are interested, there I'm putting up the link in the description box. Check it out, and you can then respond back to me. Now let's get back to the charts. Now, Root Mobile is a fairly new listed company of 2020, but the promoters have been in this business for over 2 decades now. So fairly rich experience among the partner promoters when it comes to uh, uh, cloud technology. And from the monthly, we can see that the stock, after a brilliant startup of 2021, gave a sharp decline, like the rest of the market did from 2021 October till May 2022. And after that, the stock has done a steady progress. But in that decline, let us try to understand how much did the stock actually decline up to. And here we can see that the stock did a decline of approximately 78%. So something we can call quite safely for now, keeping in mind the bounds, that the stock first made a higher low out here as of now, which looks like that, which is quite interesting from a long-term perspective if it were to continue like this. Now let's have a look at the weekly charts and try to decode what's coming out of that. So in the weekly charts also, we can notice out here that this was that higher low in the monthly, and even in the weekly, we can see another higher low. So the stock tending to push its way up gradually, trying to make a higher lows out here. Now, as per Ichimoku, the stock has given a future outlook of quite a good strength around this area, but yet to give a clean breakout on the upside. For a breakout on the upside, it needs to start pushing its way above 7,800. Then we would say that yes, it has a potential of at least running up to 1,900 in the short term. short to medium term, something like that, 1900, sustaining above this belt of 2000 would mean that the stock becomes a multi-bagger, in which case we would be looking at much higher projections of something to the tune of 2,800, 3,300 to 3,000. Of course, these would be long-term scenarios. They wouldn't be meant for short-term as the structure develops going ahead. So it's very crucial that the stock, when it starts to move its way up, it does break above this line. A little bit of consolidation here will do, and then tries to push its way further up. So clearly, the route uh, for upside is definitely there, as the name suggests, but needs a lot of breakage of barrier on its way up from here. Now let's have a look at the weekly daily charts and try to decode what lies ahead for it there. In the daily, we can see inside the cloud, so a lot of uncertainty, as we can see large candle formations happening out there with support around 1450 to 1385. These are crucial levels of support. If the stock needs to push its way up, then at least it should hold on to 1440. Otherwise, it might drift down a bit. So in the lower time frame, also trying to make a falling wedge pattern, trying to squeeze its way and trying to take a turn. So the earliest turn would be an hourly sustenance above 1495, 1500. Then it would again try to push its way up, and we can see a huge block near 1600 if it does. So that's an early resistance for the stock. Now let's have a look in case due to any circumstances this first let's that this level of 1440 does not hold, then what happens in such a case? 1440 not holding would mean that there would be tremendous pressure at 1380 to 1275. This $100 range out here would be the next major support line out here. So in case it breaches, then this is the area where it would try to consolidate, make another higher low in the larger context, low, higher low, and then another higher low from that context, and then try to push its way on the upside. As where would it get resistance if we see something of that sort happening? So joining this trend line with this trend line, the two high and higher highs in the weekly, and there is interestingly the possibility in case it drifts down below 1440, then there is a possibility of a bullish harmonic uh, near the cloud. So an Ichimoku and a harmonic level, which would be interestingly 1300 odd, where buying, value buying could come in, which would justify another higher low formation in it. And if that does happen and we get a turn, then we could be looking at a possibility of 1900 odd, and then we review it further above 2000, whether it has potential to then go up now. So early days on both the sides cannot rule out a little bit of push down and then turn. Now, if it fails to hold on to this particular level of 1250, 60, because to a 1375 to 1275 is that zone. Now, by chance, it does pierce its way down and doesn't stop, then the stock goes into a major kind of a downtrend move, which could mean, a retest of much lower levels. So, which in this case could be quite deep down. So I don't want to try to analyze that deep a fall. For me, anything which does not hold 1200 and 1200, 1220 in a decline, so due to any circumstances, maybe the stock doesn't do that well in a quarter or two, or there is a global trigger of sell. In those cases, we would like to see this structure not violated at all out here. Uh, and then a failure to hold this 1200 level would put a lot of pressure on that stock in that case. So overall, quite well placed. One could look at opportunities on the dip, or in case it doesn't take a dip now that 414.40 and starts moving upwards, then from a breakout traders point of view, I would at least wait for it to survive above 1650 and then look at it. So from a breakout point of view, pullback point of view, all aspects covered in this video. Stock overall, do very little data from a long-term perspective, but overall, uh, structure-wise, quite healthy, and so something very much possible on it. Now, disclaimer, this is not a trading or investing advice at all. This is an educational video purely based on Ichimoku, Fibonacci, and harmonic patterns. And before you take a call on whether you need to invest in it and how much, please do the study thoroughly and make sure that you respect your levels of both stop loss as well as resistance in the stock, and do measure your risk before you get into it. And also keep in mind the time zone which you expect, till which you expect to hold on to the stock, at least part, if not full. So I hope this video is of help to you. So do like this video and subscribe to the channel and also share the same. Until then, happy investing.